to say to some of those that they can go on a 4-hour tear about China, and it seems like basically it's exactly the stuff they would have said 6 months ago.
Well, you need to, be a bit sophisticated in your analysis of China. That's important for Australia's interest in terms of national security, also our economy. And, China locked itself away from the world in the 50s, 60s and most of the 1970s, and they liberated themselves with free market economics. And they grew their economy to the point now where they're second biggest in the world, and one day they'll probably be the biggest. So, you can't avoid that fact. Now, a lot of these things about China's growth and expansion would be happening regardless of who was running China. Are they run by communists, or is it a Confucian authoritarian regime? Chinese people have a lot of respect for their elders, for their rulers. Anyone who thinks you're going to be marching into China one day and creating democracy is as stupid as the people who thought they could march into Iraq and create democracy. So a lot of these things would be happening regardless of the complexion of the government in China. But at the same time, China's made two massive mistakes, one global, the other particular to Australia in recent times. Of course, their response to the pandemic originating in Wuhan has been abysmal, and there should be a thorough international independent inquiry into how this happened and was allowed to proliferate and spread the virus around the world. But the one particular to Australia is obviously the interference in our political system, the Sam Dastyari controversy, Aldi bags, stuffed full of money, and so forth. We know that China's been incredibly stupid in trying to interfere with Australian politics. And I suppose the third act of stupidity on a much smaller scale was this Ambassador Cheng in recent days trying to heavy us about our trade relations with China. Well, that talk is just plain stupid, because while it's true Australia relies on significant parts of the Chinese economy for our exports, China relies on 40% of its iron ore coming out of Australia. So if we were stupid enough, like, reverse Cheng, to turn around and say, oh, well, no, we're not going to be selling you any more iron ore, imagine the damage that would cause to their construction, manufacturing and all their other industries. 40% of their iron ore supply being lost overnight. So, a lot of that talk is stupid. We should just put Ambassador Cheng to one side and really reset the Chinese relationship around those two big problems, solving the two big problems that I mentioned, and trying to also understand that, with unemployment getting to double digits in Australia, if you want to cut China off in terms of our economic relationship, well, unemployment will end up over 20%. So, you've got to be critical of China, but sensible about the solution.